Hello, it's Keith here, and so if you've seen the title of the video or you've looked at the sub count, you'll know my channel has now reached 5,000 subs. So as a bit of a celebration of this fact, I've made a little demo which we're going to have a look at now. If you remember, I did when the 3,000 sub point was hit, I did a little video, but that was all made with just video editing tools, and so this time I've done something kind of similar, but we're doing it this time with a real Amstrad CPC, or real emulation at least, so it's running on an actual Z80 based system, which is what we would like for this website. Now the code we're seeing today we will have a look at in a later tutorial. It's basically tape loader code. It's streaming RLE data, compressed image data from a tape. So we'll see that. It should be a bit of fun. Now, if you've been watching my channel recently, you know there's been lots of Z80 content recently with regards to the YQuest game, and also that's been extended onto the 6502 68000, and we've recently been looking at hardware sprites on all those systems. The videos are coming out quite rapidly for the patrons. They're a little bit behind for the general users, but they will all come out at some point, so you will all see those. Anyway, I got lots more stuff coming up. We will have a look at those once we've finished watching this demo though, so should be a bit of fun. Now, I started my YouTube channel about 3.5 years ago. The first 6 months was just showing off examples of the Chibi Akuma's game, and then I started the Z80 tutorials, and then a year later I did the 6502 68000, and then that was the second year, and this is the third year, and of course now I'm covering a lot more systems, and I'm hoping to cover a few more later on. The only thing is I am trying to keep up the content for most of the other systems. So it's getting difficult, you know, because obviously time is not infinite. So when I add one thing, if I don't take another away, it becomes increasingly hard. So anyway, as I say, I will be endeavouring to cover as many new systems as possible while maintaining much of the current set of systems to keep everyone happy. So hopefully there'll be lots for you all to see going forward. My channel's been gaining 2,000 subs a year approximately so far, and it's dropped a little bit recently. It goes up and down depending on the year and also the amount of content I release and things, but generally speaking I'm getting 2,000 subs a year, 1,000 subs every 6 months, something like that. So I think that's likely to continue. So that's the prospects for the channel. Anyway, we're going to just finish watching the final loading of this thank you screen here, which is the Chibi Akuma's end screen here, and then we're going to go over some of the platforms I've got planned, and hopefully that will show you why you should stick around, and hopefully there'll be lots more exciting stuff coming for you in the future. Okay, there we go. Thank you, everyone. Which is indeed the sentiment, and that's the end of the demo. As I say, we'll be seeing the code for that demo in a later lesson. So what's coming next? Well, the first thing I've got coming is my Photon game. Now this is a little vector-based Tron clone. Basically it's a test for some pixel and line drawing that uses line drawing routines, and it uses a pixel routine that builds into a line drawing routine, and then finally the vector routine that you've seen drawing the title screen just here. Now the game itself is actually a as I say, it's a simple Tron clone, but it actually uses Vectrex format graphics for some of its vector objects. For example, these cross obstacles here are actually in Vectrex format. So it's going to be a tutorial on pixel plotting on multi-platform systems, how to use a pixel routine to build up lines, and how to draw some vector-based graphics. You can see there's like a vector-based font and just some simple graphics. But it's you know, as often it's nothing it's not an amazing game, but it's a nice multi-platform demo for pixel plotting. Now at the moment it's a Z80 based game, but I'm hoping to later on port it to the 6502 and 68000 systems as well. I think that will be a bit of fun. So that's the first thing I've got coming. Now we've covered a lot of CPUs, but I've got more planned. We're going to be covering the 65816. Hopefully I'm going to be able to write the tutorials for that over Christmas. Of course we're going to be covering the classic Super Nintendo, which we've already covered, but I've also got some new systems planned. We're going to be covering the Phoenix C256, the 65816 based system, and we're also going to look at the Apple II GS, which is the later Apple II, which used the 65816 and has this rather fantastic 16 color mode. As well as the 65816, I want to have a look at the EZ80 because of being a bit of a Z80 fan, and we're going to be looking at that on the TI 84 calculator. So you can see we've got a nice example there. So we're going to be looking at some new upgraded versions of of the CPUs we've already covered, and we're going to learn about the new features in those, so that should be a bit of fun. And another thing that I've been working on just this week actually is a new graphics engine, which we're going to be looking at as a series of tutorials. This is my Speed Tile Sprite engine. It's a multi-platform tile and sprite based engine. It's pretty simple, relatively speaking. It can be ported to a new system in usually about 3 hours because I've ported it to the Spectrum, the Sam Coupe, the Amstrad CPC, and it can even work on true tile sprite systems like the Sega Master System, and it can automatically use either fake sprites using the tile map, or it can use hardware sprites, as you can see just here. So this is a simple scrolling graphics engine that you can use on multiple platforms relatively easily, and it uses a virtual tile map with sort of compression, which is known as super tiles, where you define blocks of tiles and then you use those multiple times to make a very large tile map with relatively little memory. So we'll be looking at this and we'll be discussing all the concepts and how that kind of thing can be done on all of the Z80 systems. So that should be quite interesting, and I'm going to be hopefully using this in a later game as well, which is going to come after Photon, which is the vector game, of course. As I said before, the Photon game is planned for the 6502 and 68000 systems as well. So hopefully there's lots more exciting content coming. Anyway, that's all I'm going to be sort of showing off today. There's lots of general tutorials in the pipeline, as you know, so hopefully everyone's going to stick around and everyone's going to see plenty of stuff they're going to enjoy. And the final thing I would also like to say is a big thank you to all of my Patreon backers, both my current ones and past ones as well. Making these tutorials is a lot of work. I get up every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. I start shooting videos, and as soon as I finish shooting videos I start programming for the next set of tutorials, and I'm working most evenings as well, writing the documentation. Sometimes the tutorials take a long time to program, and of course I have to research new concepts to discuss in future tutorials. So it's an awful lot of work, and you know, the Patreon backers backing me is a reason to keep doing it, shall we say. It's because it's sometimes you end up thinking, oh, this is too much work, why am I doing this? And the fact that they are continuing to sponsor me is a reason to keep doing it when sometimes it feels a bit hard. So I do have to say a special thanks to them, but I really appreciate all of my viewers. I'm hoping you're all going to stick around, and I'm hoping I give you enough reasons to do so. I hope I can make lots more interesting content for you to keep watching. Anyway, thanks for watching today. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I hope to be doing a video for 10,000 subs soon. Goodbye now.